Welcome back. In the next few minutes, you will witness the brand that has topped the list of the most valuable brands in the world. The success story of Apple is no coincidence. They are the ones who have successfully implemented the balanced scorecard. So, what exactly is this balanced scorecard? Balanced scorecard is a performance metric to identify, improve, and control the various business functions. So, it is like the report card that you get in schools. In the report card, you would be evaluated based on your marks, based on your personality, based on your interpersonal skills, your extracurricular activities. So there are separate columns for all these in a report card. So just like that, the balanced scorecard evaluates a particular organization based on 4 areas. Now, these areas are known as perspectives. So the first perspective of the balanced scorecard is the financial perspective. This is the measure which deals with the numbers or the dollar amount. The next perspective is the internal process. Internal process looks into whether the internal processes of the organization are efficient and effective. The third perspective is learning and growth. Now, for every organization, the employees play a crucial role. So we should continuously train the employees so that they perform in the best interest of the company. And whenever you want to grow, it calls for innovations, it calls for new products, or gradually your product will get outdated from the market when competition steps in. So for any organization, innovation, that is introduction of new products, is crucial to its success. Now, the fourth perspective, customer perspective. Now, we know that customer is the king. If we cannot satisfy our customer, then our business is doomed. Now, for each perspective, the company will have a goal and it will have a measure to evaluate whether the goal is being achieved. Now, for the financial perspective, the goal could be shareholder value, that is maximization of shareholder value. And what could be the measures? The measures could be the gross margin percentage, the share price, the earnings per share. Anything that adds value to the shareholder could be treated as a measure. Now, for each perspective, a company needn't restrict itself with just one goal. It could have multiple goals. Maybe it could have a goal of fixing the return on investment at 15%. So what is the measure? The measure is whether the company has achieved a return on investment at 15%. Now, this perspective, that is a financial perspective, is a FPI. That is financial performance indicator. That is, it deals with numbers or it deals with the dollar amount. Now, the other 3 perspectives, that is the internal business process, the learning and growth, and the customer perspectives are NFPI. What do you mean by NFPI? Non-financial performance indicators. It is not financial. It is not related to the numbers. Now, if you take the case of the world leader, Apple, their internal business processes are top-notch. So their goal could be ensuring good quality. And what is a measure? Now, we know that the Apple products are not manufactured by the company Apple. It is only the design which is created by Apple. All the other manufacturing work is subcontracted. So how do we ensure that the quality is good? In the company Apple, they always have supplier audits. They ensure that the product that is manufactured is of top quality. So a measure could be violations in supplier audits. They are very careful in monitoring whenever there is a violation when a supplier audit is done. And in these supplier audits, it is not only the product that they are concerned with, they are also concerned about the working conditions of the people. So that is how they ensure good quality of the product. Now, the third perspective, the learning and growth, the goal could be product innovation. Now, we know that Apple is a master in product innovations. They just started with Apple One personal computer when they started off the company. And their latest release, iPhone 13 Pro Max, is just another addition to a whole lot of innovations that they have done, whether it is the iPad, the iPod, just to name a few. Now, the measure could be
the percentage of sales that they generate from these new products. Now, there could be another goal also for the learning and growth. They want staff to be aware of the pulse of the organization. So one of the goals is employee commitment. They want commitment from the employees. And how do they ensure that the employees are committed to the common goal of the organization? That is by having a comprehensive employee survey. So multiple questions will be asked to the employees on a regular basis so that they can evaluate the employee commitment. Now, the fourth perspective, the customer perspective, the goal is to be the preferred supplier. And the measure is the customer satisfaction rating. Presently, the customer satisfaction rating of Apple is at 82%. When we have a mix of all these four perspectives, there emerges a successful business. Earlier, companies used to focus only on the financial side. If profits are high, then they rest assured that the company will be successful in future. But in present day times, it is not only the financial side that is to be taken into consideration. They have to focus on the internal processes. That is, all the business processes should be performed efficiently and effectively. They focus on the learning and growth, that is importance for the staff training and also for the product innovations. And the last, the customer perspective, always make the customer happy and satisfied. So those are the success keys according to the balanced scorecard. Now, the father of balanced scorecard is Norton and Kaplan. Now we will go to the advantages of the balanced scorecard. FPI and NFPI are considered. FPI is the financial performance indicators and NFPI is the non-financial performance indicators. It is not only the financial side that the balanced scorecard focuses on. So it gives a full picture of the business. The second advantage is it creates a cause and effect model. Now we know that in a balanced scorecard, we've got four perspectives. That is learning and growth, internal processes, customer perspective, and finally the financial perspective. Now, under learning and growth, if we were to give staff training to the employees, then they will definitely take lesser time to do their job, which means that the internal process is getting improved. And once they take lesser time, it leads to timely delivery of the products, which means that the customers will be satisfied. And ultimately, it will lead to more profits. That is, the financial perspective is also taken care of. So that is the meaning of cause and effect model. There is a close interrelationship that is existing between the four perspectives. Now, the third advantage is balances short-term and long-term objectives. Now, as an example, you could say, reducing R&D expenditure that increases profits of the current year may make the product outdated in the long run. Now, what the managers could do to improve the profits of the current year is to reduce the R&D expenditure. But what happens in the long run, their product will get outdated. But for a company that employs the balanced scorecard, the balanced scorecard will immediately highlight it because R&D expenditure is a part of learning and growth. So they will immediately point out that R&D expenditure has reduced for the current year. So immediately it will be brought to the attention of the top management. So it balances the short-term and the long-term objectives. Now, the last advantage is multiple targets. We could have multiple targets which would increase our control. Multiple targets will give more control over the organization. Now, moving to the disadvantages of balanced scorecard. Information overload. Now, just now we said that we could have multiple targets. But multiple targets with multiple measures. Just imagine the information overload that takes place. So there could be information overload when each perspective have multiple goals. The second disadvantage is external factors are completely ignored. They ignore the external factors like the competitor activity. The competitor activity is not included in a balanced scorecard. We are focused on the internal workings, internal business processes, internal profits, internal staff training, internal product innovations. Basically, the external factors are completely ignored in a balanced scorecard. Now, the third disadvantage is inappropriate measures. As an example, we could say understanding the staff morale through feedback forms. Now, if you just give a feedback form to the staff, will they immediately write whatever problems they are facing? Maybe not. So a particular measure may not help in serving that particular goal. Now, the fourth disadvantage is conflict. As an example, we could say, if the customer insists on speedy delivery, then we have to definitely satisfy the customer, right? Because customer is the king, customer perspective. But that may be done at the cost of quality. Internal business process is getting affected. In a rush, they make the product and the quality of the product might be adversely affected. So there could be conflict between the two perspectives. And the last disadvantage is there is difficulty and cost in obtaining the information. You have to look whether the employees are happy. You have to look whether the customers are happy. So to get information for all these perspectives might prove difficult. Now, for the examination, if you're given a balanced scorecard problem, you could be tested on any company. It could be a hotel, it could be an airline. So based on the nature of the business, the goal and the measure will be different. So you will have to devise your own measure depending on the information that is given in the question. You cannot have a standard goal and a standard measure, because for a restaurant, the goal would be for product innovations. It would be the number of new dishes that have been produced for that particular month. So it varies depending on the nature of the business. So this is something that you have to always look into the question and then answer. So here we come to an end of the ACCA FI session on a balanced scorecard. If you would like to be updated with the syllabus of performance management, do click the subscribe button. And if you would like to receive alerts whenever videos are uploaded, do press the bell icon too. So thank you all and see you in the next video.